Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Kai, and we back on the Raw Report. And we got Antonio Brown getting exposed by a couple snow bunnies. And it seems like, man, Antonio Brown might be going out like Shannon Sharpe, right? And we know with the athletes and everything, they seem to think that these white chicks are better than the black women and everything like that. A lot of these athletes, get with other races of women, believing that they behave better. But then, look at Shannon Sharpe, right? Look at potentially what's happening with Antonio Brown, right? If you're a chick messing with a dude, talking about he's got CTE, he's best friends with Kanye. Those are two red flags to say you might not be all the way there in the head, right? And it looked like Antonio Brown is always doing some BS in Dubai. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised they still even let him over there after that pool incident where, he exposed himself in the pool to some random chick. And now apparently Antonio Brown abandoned his 304s while he was in Dubai. And we got the messages, right? Somebody says, "Hey, what's up?" Then she goes to say, "He told me he was coming. He was going to bring me shopping and pay my rent, and he did neither. Now it's the first, and I'm stuck out here with no room, no clothes. I'm effing pissed." Right? And a lot of these chicks, they're gonna overly go for these celebrity kind of guys, right? I think the craziest part is that the more fame that you got, the less these guys actually pay, right? Think about somebody like Chris Brown or Drake. Do you think he has to pay to take a girl on a date? Girls actually pay Chris Brown to meet him. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of these athletes, and we'll just say celebrities in general, they get in trouble, promising these chicks certain things, and they're gonna think, of course he's got the money. Look at his Instagram. Of course he got the money. He's so and so. He's Antonio Brown, right? And we saw with people like Sean Kingston, right? Sometimes just because it looks good on Instagram doesn't mean they really got that money. You don't really know their situation, right? They might owe some tax money and they might be in trouble with IRS or whatever the case may be. So apparently these chicks in Dubai thought they were going to go on a shopping spree and, get fully tricked on by Antonio Brown. And apparently he had different plans. Then somebody says, "Ooh, these guys got money spending on y'all that are there, at least they got bread," right? So they're saying if Antonio Brown is not gonna trick on you, you better find a trick there in Dubai since they got money. Then she says, "He better get me my flight home before I go online and talk about sex trafficked me and my friend to Dubai and left us here." Right? So you see it right there, y'all. When things go left, you ain't paying how you supposed to pay. Now it's a trafficking thing. And now you got Tony Bugsby sitting up here talking about a $50 million lawsuit because you done left your 304s hanging in Dubai. So the chick says, if Antonio Brown doesn't get me this ticket, I'm going to say that he trafficked me. She goes on, "I ain't playing with y'all no more. This is some BS." Then she says, "Nah, I want a room and my rent paid like I was told. He didn't give me ish, so now he blocked me. I'm gonna go online and talk crazy in about 10 minutes." Right? So the text kind of worked in defense of Antonio Brown, right? And I think we have to put a clear definition on what trafficking is, sex trafficking is, right? We saw that with the whole Diddy case, right? It's saying, I'm going to get you this watch. I'm going to fly you out here and, we're going to go on vacation or whatever the case may be. Is that trafficking? I believe that human trafficking, from what I thought it was you tying somebody up, you forcefully making somebody go somewhere, almost like kidnapping, right? These chicks are turning human trafficking into some kind of extortion play, right? They're gonna go that route. We're gonna go to the civil lawsuit. We're gonna just gonna start lying or whatever the case may be, and win or lose, they feel like they're gonna be in a better situation, right? And at this point, they got nothing to lose. And like the chick said, Antonio Brown, if you don't pay my rent, you don't book this flight, it's gonna be a $50 million lawsuit on your head by the morning. So yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I think a lot of these situations go like this, right? I think with the Diddy stuff, with Shannon Sharpe, right? I believe that once these guys stop shelling out the money like it's supposed to, the celebrity might just, cut the chick off like that, right? And now she's looking for the millions of dollars that she feels entitled to, right? But y'all let me know what y'all think. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Like the video, subscribe, and we gone.